Dr. Alan Graves had seen countless bodies pass through his morgue, but something about this one unsettled him. The young woman on the slab, pale, lifeless, and eerily beautiful, had drowned, according to the initial report. Yet, as he made the first incision, he couldn't shake the feeling that her frozen expression was not just from death, but something else. After finishing the autopsy, Alan packed up and left the hospital. He had a dinner date that night, something to take his mind off work. At La Bella Notte, a dimly lit Italian restaurant, Alan felt himself finally relax over a glass of wine. Then, as his date laughed at a joke, he looked past her and froze. Sitting at a corner table, barely lit by the flickering candlelight, was her. The woman he had operated on just hours ago. She wore the same hauntingly blank expression, her eyes locked onto his. Alan's pulse pounded. It had to be a mistake, a twin, a look-alike, anything but what his gut was telling him. The woman stood up, slowly, deliberately. Alan's breath hitched as she walked toward him, her steps unnervingly soundless against the floor. Every rational thought in his mind screamed that this was impossible. His scalpel had traced along her cold flesh. His hands had confirmed she was dead. She stopped inches from his table. A sickly scent of damp earth and something metallic clung to her. Alan opened his mouth, but before he could speak, she whispered, "You shouldn't have touched me." Then, as if an unseen force had yanked her backward, she collapsed, her body hitting the ground with a sickening thud. The restaurant erupted in panic. Diners gasped. A waiter rushed over, touching her wrist, then recoiling as he turned to Alan with horror. "Doctor, she's cold." Alan stood shakily, his mind a whirlwind of terror. But the real nightmare began when his phone buzzed. A message from an unknown number. He hesitated, then opened it. A single image loaded. His morgue, the metal slab, empty, and below it, a text. "See you soon, doctor."